Good morning. Yesterday we have seen uh, the importance of CRPC and how the courts are taking cognizance. So the court has to uh, wait. If private complaint is filed by individual, take his evidence. If he is satisfied that the prima facie material were available to initiate proceeding against the accused, then they will proceed issue process. That process will be in two kinds, summon as well as warrant. For summon cases it will be summons, and warrant case it will be warrant. But subsequently, considering the unnecessary arrest and other complications, on Supreme Court guidelines, superseding the provisions of CRPC, they say whatever may be the case, initially you issue summons. So normally every case summons are being issued, except in other states where CRPC is strictly followed. They have their own state regulations. Say this IPC, CRPC is in concurrent list, the state can amend it according to their need. Now question arises. What is 154 CRPC? 154 CRPC says that if any report or information or maybe a complaint is given to the police outstation officer, if it discloses cognizable offence, then they are bound to register 154 CRPC printed FIR. If that did not disclose any cognizable offence means the offence scheduled wherein police officer may arrest the accused without a warrant or permission of the court. If did not disclose any cognizable offence, then he has to refer the matter to advise the complainant to approach the court. If he goes to court, he has to file by way of either under 200 CRPC, very same complaint given to the court. Then the court may also, instead of taking straight away cognizance, if suppose that complaint requires some investigation by the police officials, they may forward it under section 155 CRPC. Then automatically the outstation officer is bound to register it because the directions is being given under 156 class 3 CRPC. So then automatically, then again the police outstation officer may deem that complaint which discloses only non-cognizable offence may register FIR, but all powers of investigating officer were available except to arrest. So far cognizable offence case is concerned, he may arrest. Now question arises, the very important provisions, we should understand that the police outstation officer have no role at all in so far the complaint or report or information is concerned. He has to receive as it was given to him. And if it is given orally, it has to be reduced in writing and read over to him and get confirmation that it was written as it was narrated by the person. Then he has to obtain the signature, then it will be treated as a complaint given in writing. Now question arises, what was the duty of the police officer? Then the police officer duty commences under 161 CRPC regarding statement of the witness. The person who gives information or reports or give complaint, he should be interrogated. Only for that high purpose, police officials are paid from exchequer. And the CRPC 161 statement says, the 161 and 162 read together, this 161 statement may not be treated as evidence before the court. Number two, the 161 statement, the witness's signature should not be obtained. It is barred to obtain signature. Then how to bring this 161 statement and 161 statement to the court of record, that is in heart of a cross examination and chief examination, and that should be co-related with 145 Indian Evidence Act. That we'll see later on. Now question arises, why this 161 CR? Because the complainant may simply say that while I was running from coming out of a house, I was baylighted and 3 persons assaulted with a knife. Only to that information you would have given. Probably you would have mentioned timing also, but you failed to mention whether it is evening or morning. So it is the duty of the investigating officer to interrogate him thoroughly by using his intelligence knowledge. Where are you working? Where is your house? And at place where you have been restrained, and what kind of knife he used, and how he remove his knife while attacking, whether he was holding knife or not. All these things, by questioning him, he has to record his statement. That is the intelligence part of the investigating officer. And thereafter he may be referred to hospital for treatment. All these corresponding sections are there. Then he has to go to the spot, and you may also ask the persons who reports or sustain injury, how many other persons have seen the occurrence. Then all these things will be there. You will go there and inquire them whether there is possibility of other witnesses witnessing these incidents. This is art of investigating. Then thereafter the question arises, most important, then after sending this victim or somebody to the hospitals and other things, then they will search for accused. Then question of searching, arrest, if arrested, how to place before the court for remand, and after remand, whether the police require police custody, custodial interrogation, for that what to do, what not to do. And in between, this 161 statement, since not admissible in evidence, normally in villages, the investigating officers used to record 164 statement of the witnesses. 164 statement of witnesses are also being recorded, and accused statement is also recorded 164, but with some pattern precautions. That we will see later on very separately. Now you have to understand that these 161 statement be the part and parcel of the case. All other evidence is rough sketch of the scene of occurrence and the observation measure about scene of occurrence where the occurrence is said to have been taken on file. And if it is referred to hospital, the accident report, that is most vital document which we have to look into to see that whether the version of the complainant is true, false, or falsely implicating some other accused or exaggerating the incidents. All these things could be deducted by referring this accident report. Then thereafter, after completion of investigation, arrest, remand, all these things, as I already told that the investigating officer file 173 final report enabling the court to apply its mind and to take cognizance of section 190 CRPC. The taking cognizance of offences in pursuance of a final report is Judicial Act. Earlier, 1898 CRPC, there was no such procedure. It will automatically, that is, they used to file challan. Challan means charge sheet. But after 1973 CRPC, since this act has been brought into after Constitution of India being declared by our resolvers. Therefore, this Judicial Act, it is the judicial magistrate must apply its mind. So that is why there is a when the magistrate deals with the cases pending investigation, he should be considered as a magistrate. When the magistrate conducts trial, he is a judge. That is a difference for magistrate judge. I think I will stop here so that you will have relaxation. You go through 154 CRPC, 161 CRPC, 164 CRPC, 155 CRPC, then 156 class A, B, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's most important so that you can follow my next lesson. Best wishes.